welcome one and all to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Now, folks, we spent a lot of time over the last couple of weeks talking about Donald Trump's racist rhetoric. But there is one race Trump dislikes more than all the others, and that's the race for the Democratic nomination. I'll tell you all about it in tonight's Doing It Donkey Style.
Raise the minimum wage!
The next Democratic debate is a month away, and only 8 candidates have qualified for it so far. Everyone else is getting desperate to break through. For instance, Colorado Senator and man who got cut from the Cialis commercial for being too boring, Michael Bennet. Bennett put out a pretty radical campaign promise on Tuesday, tweeting, "If you elect me president, I promise you won't have to think about me for 2 weeks at a time." Way ahead of you. I want to say Michael Mitchell Bucket. I'm not sure. But I have to say, I do get excited about the idea of not thinking about the president. Also, about not thinking. Another candidate desperate to appeal to voters is tech entrepreneur and guy killing on CFO stand-up night, Andrew Yang. Yesterday, Yang unveiled a Spotify playlist of his favorite jams, including such hits as "Don't You Forget About Me." I'm sorry, that's actually his campaign slogan. Now, a few of the candidates. Keep the Yang. Lose the ballot. Few of those candidates might end up on the ballot, but in one state, Donald Trump might not be on the ballot because a new California law requires presidential candidates to release their tax returns in order to appear on the primary ballot. Wow.
The price is right.
Wow. That's pretty incredible. That's right. We're going to see everybody's tax returns now. We'll finally find out if Marianne Williamson writes off her Dreamcatcher as a medical expense. On Tuesday, Trump and the Republican Party sued California over this new law, calling it a naked political attack against the sitting president of the United States. It's a naked attack, and not the good kind, like barging in on the Miss Teen USA dressing room. Bless. And I want to remind you, this is me, Donald Trump, talking, not Stephen Colbert. Stephen thinks that's terrible. I, Donald Trump, think it was fun. Plus, California didn't name Trump in the law. So Trump is suing them is kind of a weird self-own. Guys, the new PTA rule that says you can't sneak a lukewarm cocktail of vodka and Crystal Light into the meetings inside your water bottle is a clear attack against my wife, and she will tell you that herself as soon as she wakes up. Now, the GOP suit. Applauding for either vodka or Crystal Light. I don't know which one. The GOP suit claims that this new law violates the U.S. Constitution by creating an extra requirement to run for president. Okay, but that's not true. There are already many other extra requirements to get on state ballots. In Alabama, candidates have to get at least 350 signatures. In Idaho, candidates have to pay a filing fee. In Florida, candidates have to get their petitions notarized by a licensed meth addict alligator. And Albert Gator, I believe his name. Now, right now what is this? How many, 50 years into the Trump presidency? Just 2.5 years. 2.5 years. Whew, 2.5 years. Someone tell my mirror. Only 2.5 years into the Trump presidency, and President Trump says so many stupid things, it's easy to forget a few here and there. Like the time he said he got bigger crowds than Jay-Z, or the time he said Venezuelans were all descended from inbred conquistadors, or the time he said windmills cause cancer. And I may have made one of those up, but at this point, does it matter which one? Anyway, Jay-Z, yeah. Bigger crowd than Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Anyway, he makes a lot of weird claims, so it's understandable if you forgot this one from a couple years ago, but it's about the price of buying a new Air Force One.
They were close to signing
a $4.2 billion deal to have a new Air Force One. Can you believe this? I said, no way. I said, I refuse to fly in a $4.2 billion airplane. We've got that price down by over $1 billion.
We save a lot of money on Air Force One, $1.4 billion we saved.
I was able to save $1.5 billion.
We added things. And I got $1.6 billion off.
I saved $1.6 billion. Got them to waive the carry-on baggage fee. And as long as he wears a vest, Stephen Miller can come on as my emotional support racist. So, how did Trump get the price of Air Force One so low? Well, apparently, instead of building new planes, he found cheap 747s that were owned by a Russian airline. Aha! So now the United States has something Russia used and discarded, and he's buying their old airplanes. Still, if the president... I'll let that sink in. I'll give you a second. Still, if the president really did save the taxpayers over $1 billion, he deserves a round of applause. But he doesn't because he didn't. Because it turns out the cost of Trump's new Air Force One has skyrocketed to nearly $2 billion more than the original estimate. Oh, great. So instead of saving us $1 billion, it's costing us $2 billion. Evidently, Trump mistakenly used the one for the price of two coupon.